Hey everyone, after covering other brands, it's now time for Samsung. So I have here the entire A series. And yes, the A series has 4 smartphones. Actually, there's another Galaxy A14 model we already have here, but it's the non-5G version. Honestly, I don't recommend it much. You can get the 5G version, which is way better. And no, it's not just about 5G, but it also has a different processor and many other upgrades. So here I have the entire Samsung A series. And Samsung has really done a great job this year. In all categories, they nailed it. These are some of the best smartphones, each in their own price range. So whether you want a more expensive or cheaper phone, Samsung is here with the A series to cater to your needs, no matter how much you're willing to spend. And no, this isn't a sponsored video. I like other smartphones too. We talk a lot about Xiaomi phones. I made a video with Xiaomi phones, which are also really good, but Samsung has nailed it this year. Of course, when the price is right. Sometimes we release a video and the price goes up. Then it's not worth it anymore, but there are some great deals. And man, let's start with the list because it's fantastic. First up is the Galaxy A14. It was the first smartphone that Samsung launched in Brazil, and it did really well and still does for a few reasons. First off, the price. It's a smartphone that you can find for around 1,000 BRL, Galaxy A14. You might say, well, that's the price range of the A1 series, right? A 1, then 14, 12, 13, all those generations, that's roughly the price they usually go for. But the A14 got such a big upgrade from previous versions, and it's so close to more expensive phones. Just to give you an idea, the Galaxy A14 is even more powerful than the Galaxy A24, which is the most expensive one on this list. You might ask, what, how? Yeah, I was surprised too. But the first thing that made the Galaxy A14 so successful, design. Samsung kept this design for pretty much the whole lineup. The difference with the A14 is that it has a texture and you can run your nail over it and feel it. That's nice because it's one of the only cheap phones, right, that you can buy from other brands as well, which looks good and won't get fingerprint marks all over it. On the top, there's a microphone. At the bottom, USB-C, headphone jack, and the speaker. The fingerprint sensor is on the side along with the volume button and works well and fast. So that's pretty much it. This phone has a 6.6-inch IPS Full HD Plus screen. So it's a large screen, IPS, and at its price range, it's decent. It's a good smartphone. So far, nothing extraordinary, right? We'll have what it offers in terms of fingerprint sensor, screen, and display type on other phones. And even some better options. But check this out. It also has a 90 Hz refresh rate, which is cool. It's a smoother display, and that's nice. It's the same refresh rate you'll get on the Redmi Note 12S. So, okay, it's a decent refresh rate. The focus of this smartphone is performance. I did a test with the Antutu benchmark, just so you know, and it scores 370,000 points, which is a lot in its price range. It's more powerful than the Redmi Note 12. It's as powerful as the Redmi Note 12S, which costs over 1,300 BRL. So it's very powerful indeed. So, gone are the days when you buy a 1,000 BRL phone and oh, it will lag in a year or so. No, it's so good that it will last a while without lagging, trust me. At least longer than any other phone in this price range. So, performance-wise, it's at the top. There's no other phone that costs 1,000 BRL in Brazil that's more powerful than this one. And I can show you this in practice. You can play any game, any app with ease. It even has an Exynos 1330 processor, which Samsung did a great job on. It has 4 GB of RAM, 128 GB of storage. So it's a really nice processor. It will run everything smoothly. I opened Asphalt 9 here real quick. I'll play a match with you guys. And I really like this processor because Samsung managed to get a good cost. I'll even unlock a BMW for us to race. I jumped into a match and it runs smoothly. The processor is really well optimized. Samsung nailed it. And with the price, like I said, it's pretty good. We can pretty much run any game with varying quality, of course. For example, Genshin Impact can run, but you won't get the best graphics. However, for Asphalt 9, you can get really good graphics. Same with Free Fire, Call of Duty. Whatever game you want to play, you'll also get good graphics. It's not just about opening the game. No, it does open and run smoothly. That's important too. Along with that, Samsung packed a large battery. 5,000 mAh is good. It has pretty nice optimizations. So a 5,000 mAh battery will last you all day long. Another thing, these smartphones all have a 5,000 mAh battery, which is the same battery you'll find in all the other models. So if you think about the A24, A34, or A54, they all have the same battery. And Samsung also nailed it with this series. The A34 and the A54 will have the same battery. And Samsung also got this right. It's a model with 5G. So it's one of the cheapest mobile phones in Brazil with 5G and also one of the most powerful in Brazil. So two big highlights there for many people. Lots of people want a phone with 5G and a phone that doesn't freeze or slow down. Also, I really like the cameras on this phone. And hey, I will share what I didn't like. It does not come with additional earphones for stereo sound and stuff, but I'll get to that later. But the cameras are good indeed and stand out compared to other phones at the same price range. Check out the photos I took with Galaxy A14, my primary 50 megapixel camera, which really helps, plus a 2MP macro lens and a depth sensor for portrait mode. However, there's no ultra-wide lens. The front camera has 13 megapixels. You've seen the photos I took. The quality is pretty good for the price point. And if you're interested, the link is in the description. I bought this from Mercado Libre. That's where all these are from, actually, because it's where official stores sell them and you can get really good deals. So that's great. The links are in the description and the delivery is very fast too. The next model in the A series is the Galaxy A24. I chose this color just for a change. They all come in various colors, which is great, but this one has a reflective surface and everything. As I mentioned earlier, the design is similar. It follows the same design language as the Galaxy A14. The fingerprint reader is on the side. Just touch here and it unlocks. I even added a theme here for change. Look at this lock screen animation. It's quite cool, right? It has a USB-C port, headphone jack, and the speaker is at the bottom. But it does not have 5G. I will get this out of the way. It's a 4G version. However, it's still a good phone, as I personally don't prioritize 5G yet, especially because it's not available in my town, so I can't use it most of the time. So I'd rather have a phone with more features, a better screen, better performance, better cameras for the same price than have 5G and miss out on those features. So see what works best for you. The price point is also favorable, as it used to be around 1,100, quite a good price. So not having 5G actually helped in that aspect. The screen is a 6.5-inch AMOLED Full HD display, but it runs at a 90Hz refresh rate, like the Galaxy A14, kind of like Samsung's Redmi Note 12S competitor. It competes with the Redmi Note 12S because it offers a similar AMOLED screen, which is great. Contrast is fantastic. If I lock the screen here and tap, the screen wakes up without draining the battery. The colors are vibrant, but it's just a 90Hz refresh rate. Still, it's an upgrade from the Galaxy A14's display and a significant pro. Another highlight here is the performance. I also installed the MotoTool benchmark, and this phone is slightly more powerful than the A14, scoring about 400,000 points with the Helio G99 processor. This model comes with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. I installed games like Call of Duty, Genshin Impact, and several others. It can easily handle these games. So starting with the A14, every model improves performance slightly. The A14 can handle all games and will continue to do so for some time, and the A24 will too. It's a great choice if you want to game this year, next year, and even beyond. I won't open every game on all the phones here because you get the idea. You saw the A14 running smoothly. This device is good too. You're seeing me game on the Galaxy A24. It runs perfectly well, very impressive. And again, the battery is 5 mAh. So it's going to keep going all day too. All the models here will last a whole day. Another difference here, besides the display, is the camera. You get a slightly better one here. At least that's what it should be. Look at these photos I took with the Galaxy A24. Samsung kept the 50MP sensor, but now there's also a 5MP wide-angle lens and a 2MP macro lens. The front camera is 13MP. Let me know what you think of the cameras. So there's improved performance, a better screen and camera. For the ultra-wide camera, if you're not sure, when you're taking a photo, there's an option to shift to 0.5x, which gives you a wider view. I'm in the same place, but with the normal camera, I couldn't capture the entire object. Here I captured a wider scene without moving, so that's nice and possible with the Galaxy A24. Another thing to mention is that it doesn't record in 4K. That starts with the A34 model. The A14 and A24 don't record in 4K with the rear or front camera. We have Samsung's Edge panel on all models, which is a nifty feature. So overall, it's a good smartphone and could be a good choice at a reasonable price. If you want better cameras and a better screen and are willing to pay a bit more than for the A14, this could be a good option for you. Another thing is that it doesn't have 5G, which is, well, a bit disappointing. A24, and another thing here, let's see, it also can't record videos in 4K. It will be from the A34. So the A14 doesn't support 4K video recording either, neither with the back nor front camera. Then we have the Edge bar, a cool feature found in every Samsung model. So it's a pretty good choice, honestly, a nice phone you could consider buying. In the budget-friendly zone, if you're looking for better cameras and a better screen and willing to spend slight more than you would on the A14, it could be a solid option for you too. Another downside is it doesn't support 5G, which kind of sucks. But let's move on to the next one, which is the Galaxy A34. It's honestly one of Samsung's biggest hits, and I bet it's going to be one of this year's top-selling and most loved phones. I know that everyone's all about the A54 right now, but hear me out. The A34 does pretty much everything the A54 can do for a much lesser price. For context, this phone here was retailing at about $1 300 or $1 350. For what it has to offer, it was a steal. First up, let's check out its design. The real differences lie on the inside. It supports 5G and NFC for contactless payments. It also has a stereo speaker. The sound comes from both here and the top. It has USB-C support, but sadly no headphone jack, but it does have a fingerprint scanner built into the screen, which works pretty well. Its display is also superior. It's an AMOLED screen, a large 6.6-inch one to be exact. Full HD, and it also has a faster refresh rate of 120 Hz, meaning a smoother display. From all the phones we've looked at so far, this is one of the best screens you could ask for. If we were to compare it to an iPhone 14 Pro or S23 Ultra, it's got the same type of screen and refresh rate. So you're getting a top-notch display with this phone. And again, for a super low price, just a tap lights up its section of the screen. The fingerprint scanner works really well. It also has a feature none of the others on this list do. It's IP67 certified, meaning it's water resistant. If you're looking for a phone that's got 5G, one of the best screens is water resistant and can withstand a little mishap like getting wet or taking poolside pics. You're good to go. It's well protected, so it's very well rounded. Plus, it's just as powerful as the pricier A54. Sounds crazy, but it's true. I did some tests, installed some games and apps just to show you. For example, on the Antutu benchmark, fitted with a Dimensity 1080 processor and 6 GB RAM. It scored a whopping 450,000 points. That's a lot. It also has 128 GB storage capacity and gets the same score as the Redmi Note 12 Pro by Xiaomi. That's because they use the same processor. Now imagine getting the same product but, at a huge discount, because the processor here in the A34 is the same as in the Redmi Note 12 Pro. But the catch here is this one typically retails at $400 or $500 at most. Price did drop to $350 at times. But the Redmi Note 12 Pro is significantly more expensive, about $2,000. So would you pay $2,000 for exactly what you can get for less? No, you'd go for the cheaper one, obviously, because inside they're the same. So keep that in mind. Here, it'll run any game or app smoothly without any lag, which is fantastic. Whatever you want to run, it'll handle it with ease. And for a long time too. It also has much better cameras. Check out some of the pics I took using the Galaxy A34. It has a 48 MP main camera fitted with a Sony sensor, which is superb. Then there's the ultra-wide lens, and it also helps with the portrait mode. It supports 4K video recording with both rear and front cameras. Plus, the front camera features a 13 MP Sony sensor. So you get great quality with both the back and front cameras. No matter which camera you use, you're assured of top quality shots. And it's a good-looking phone too, especially in this lime green color, which is just one of Galaxy A34's color options. If you're looking to buy, it's one of the best on the list. Each phone just keeps getting better, and the A34 has some extra perks that add to its appeal. Definitely a great choice. Finally, we have the Galaxy A54, which is selling like hotcakes. Its price fluctuates around $1,700. Whenever there's a surge in sales, the price goes up a bit, but then it comes back down because wow, this phone is amazing. It really is. It's pretty much a spitting image of the A34, but people seem to prefer the A54. I do too. But there are some caveats, like the A34, it also supports 5G and has all the other A34 features. Same display, except it's 6.4 inches, and I find the notch more attractive. Lightly tap it, and it lights up that section of the screen. It also has a screen-based fingerprint scanner. The notch style is personal preference. I prefer the A34's design, while others might like the A54's top notch, because it's pricier. So that small detail might swing opinions, which could be a big deal for many. It basically looks the same as the A34 USB-C charging port, stereo speakers, side buttons, and is also water resistant. Has NFC, a 120 Hz display, exactly the same as the A34. The main difference is its superior camera system. Check out some. The Galaxy A34 would be an awesome pick for sure. Each model has its own perks, but the A34 easily stands out. It's pretty impressive, to be honest. Finally, there's the buzzworthy Galaxy A54. Its price can hit $1,700, but it sells like hotcakes. The price fluctuates, going high and then coming down again. Because man, this phone is just super duper awesome. It's almost identical to the A34, except somehow people just seem to love it more. I'm a fan too. I mean, some cons exist for sure. It has 5G and pretty much all the A34 features. The screen is the same, just a bigger size at 6.4 inches. I prefer this notch design more. With just a tap, only the necessary part of the screen lights up. The fingerprint scanner is also integrated into the screen. I actually prefer the A34 and its circular notch, but I've got to admit, this one's more stylish. Of course, it's a tad pricier, which could make a difference for some. It might sway some people's decisions. Design-wise, everything's about the same, including the USB-C charging port, stereo speaker side buttons, and the water resistance. It also uses NFC and a 120Hz display, just like the A34. So essentially, they are pretty similar, but the camera here is actually better. Take a look at the pictures I took with the A54. It features a 50-megapixel camera with a Sony sensor, which is phenomenal. It's got an ultra-wide lens, and the front camera boasts 32 megapixels. Trust me, with the A54, you're getting the better camera quality both, front and rear. Legit better quality at almost the same price is maybe why people choose the Galaxy A54. It's super popular. With a 5-mAh battery, all these models will last a full day of use easily. It also has Star 5G, and another distinction is this device's processor, which is solid, by the way. It's meant to be more powerful than the A34, but there's not much in it. I mean, it's close. It uses Samsung's own Exynos 1380 processor. It comes with 8 GB RAM and 128 GB storage memory. It's a decent processor. While it should theoretically be more powerful than the A34, it's still doing really well. It's selling great. Let me show you how smooth it runs. Asphalt 9. Seriously, it's really top-notch. Here we are playing Asphalt 9 on the A54. It totally works great. You might say, sure, the A14 ran it too. That's true, but the A54 renders the graphics better. You'll notice this over the years. Consider this. If you use this phone for, say, 2 or 3 years, that cost gets divided over time, and it seems quite worth it. In an average of 30 months, what you'd have paid monthly would last a long time and seems affordable in the grand scheme. It might make more sense than a $1,500 or $1,300 phone, which might be worth the slight jump in price. Sometimes it's better to pay a little more for something that lasts way longer. I mean, 3 years signifies similar performance as of now, really fast and powerful, but it's not limited to that. The phone could certainly last longer. Just to be clear, again, this phone is water resistant with an IP67 rating. You won't have to worry about damaging it with water. Samsung is also committing to updating this model for 4 years and another year for security updates. It's the same for all new Samsung models. They're guaranteed 4 years of updates, which is awesome and very much worthwhile. Just think, if you get this phone, it'll get optimization, new features, security updates for the next 4 years. That's assured. Not bad, right? You can use this phone comfortably for 5 years, receiving security updates. After that, the phone might seem a bit dated, and the battery might not be as robust. Those issues might be the ones to make you want to switch, not any functional issues. The need to change might be mainly due to battery lifespan. I hope this breakdown helps you get a better idea of Samsung's lineup and which model may suit you best. Each one of them is unique and adds value in its own way. Links to all models are in the description below. Please hit like to show your support. I know we all love these kinds of videos, so don't forget to